On Friday, August 15th, the Miami Heat traded Haywood Highsmith and a 2031 second-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets. Miami took back a 2026 second-round draft pick as part of the deal. ESPN's Shams Charania reported the news via X. The Miami Heat have traded Haywood Highsmith and a 2032 second-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets for a protected 2026 second-round pick, sources tell ESPN. Charania reported. Brooklyn has remained active in trade conversations as the league's only team with remaining significant cap space and takes Highsmith in with an unprotected second-rounder. Nets have also acquired 2-1 this offseason to add to the most first- and second-round picks in the league. Heat shed Highsmith's salary to lessen their salary bill. Nets send Miami a 2026 second-rounder that is protected 31-55. Miami's decision to trade Highsmith has allowed them to create some financial flexibility. Highsmith's current contract will see him earn $5.6 million in the upcoming season. Pat Riley's decision to make the trade follows news that Highsmith recently underwent surgery to repair a meniscus tear. According to NBA cap expert Keith Smith, Miami's move has put them far enough under the luxury tax that they can sign a new player to a minimum deal. That should give Riley enough scope to target a veteran contributor who is currently without a team. Highsmith, due to miss 8 to 10 weeks. On August 8th, the Heat reported that Highsmith was set to miss 8 to 10 weeks due to his recent surgery. That would likely be before he began rehabbing his injury and working himself back to full fitness. Highsmith was previously a key part of Erik Spoelstra's rotation during the 2024-25 campaign, playing in 74 games and starting 42 of them. Highsmith averaged 6.5 points, 1.5 assists, and 3.4 rebounds per game last season. Miami likely valued the two-way production he provided, especially as Spoelstra tends to favor a defense-first approach on the court. Heat are not expected to contend. With or without Highsmith, the Heat are expected to be among the contenders in the Eastern Conference this season. In a recent episode of the All-NBA podcast, ESPN's Tim Legler explained why he doesn't expect the Heat to show much improvement next season, despite the addition of Norman Powell. He's going to bring something to their team because he had his best year of his career offensively, Legler said. He's always been a guy who plays hard defensively. I guess on that alone, maybe you think there's an uptick because they were at 37 last year. They add Norman Powell, so you think 38.5 should do it. You know what it is for me? I think I'm just a little bit bored with the Heat. Legler continued. I'm going to go under, and I will probably be wrong on that because they won 37 and they added Norman Powell. Legler continued. That alone should be enough, and Kel'el Ware had a very good rookie year. Maybe he just comes out of the gate like a monster. Of course, the Heat have proven people wrong before, and have arguably the best head coach in the NBA. It will be interesting to see who Riley adds to the roster on a minimum deal. However, the likelihood is that they don't move the needle enough to change our view of the Heat's overall ceiling. Nevertheless, Miami has enjoyed a strong summer, and trading Highsmith isn't going to change that. The 2025-26 NBA trade deadline is 5 months away, but it's never too early for a team like the Philadelphia 76ers to start scanning the market. Philadelphia faces a lot of uncertainty from both a health and a roster lens. However, the Brooklyn Nets and Miami Heat recently completed a trade that could help the 76ers out with the latter. Miami dealt Haywood Highsmith and a 2032 second-round pick to Brooklyn in exchange for a protected 2026 second-round pick on Friday, according to Shams Charania of ESPN. Highsmith will enter his 6th season in the NBA, having played his last 4 seasons with the Heat. The 28-year-old participated in 74 games for Miami last year, where he averaged 6.5 points per game on 58.3% true shooting. He also shot 38.2% from deep on 3.1 nightly attempts. Highsmith would immediately gel with the 76ers. You may be wondering why the 76ers should be interested in a player with subpar trade value and pedestrian numbers. This is mostly because of a knee injury he suffered earlier this month, which will sideline him for 8 to 10 weeks. The Heat were also motivated to dodge the $195.5 million first tax apron threshold. Regardless, Highsmith has proven to be a respectable rotational player during his Heat tenure. He's your prototypical 3-and-D forward, who can guard the point of attack and situationally defend multiple positions. The 6'7" veteran is limited offensively outside of spot-up shooting. But on a 76ers team littered with stars that draw gravity, it wouldn't be much of an issue. The 76ers have other reasons to acquire Highsmith. It's not so much that Highsmith is someone the 76ers should burn assets to get, it's more about how he fits into their short-term vision. Philadelphia has lots of wild cards power forwards between Trendon Watford, Jabari Walker, and Dominic Barlow. While there is reason to believe each could become a real contributor, they're all somewhat unproven. The 76ers acquiring Highsmith wouldn't be pivotal, but he would be their safest bet at the 4. Not to mention, he'll enter the last year of his 2-year $10.8 million deal this upcoming season. Considering the Nets remain focused on building for the future, the 76ers could likely acquire him for a mere future second-rounder. It'd also be easy for Philadelphia to match salaries as it could send out Andre Drummond, who accepted his $5 million player option in June. Highsmith makes too much sense as a buy-low player for the 76ers on so many levels. Funny enough, his career began in Philadelphia during the 2018-19 campaign. He signed a 2-way deal with the 76ers and appeared in 5 contests. Highsmith went on to ink a 10-day contract with Philadelphia before getting waived ahead of the 2019-20 season. He reunited with the team in September 2021 on an Exhibit 10 deal, but was once again waived prior to the season's beginning. In this crazy league, another reunion is certainly possible. Not a lot of people seem to be expecting the Miami Heat to contend in the Eastern Conference in the 2025-26 season. The Heat are on the heels of a 2024-25 campaign during which they lost more games than they won to the tune of a 37-45 record. Miami then got totally obliterated in the opening round of the 2025 NBA playoffs and looked helpless against the number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. Still, former NBA guard Teague admitted that he likes the team heading into the coming season and even claimed that the Heat will be contenders. "This year, they're a contender," Teague said. "The Heat gonna be a contender this year. I like them. The addition of Norman Powell, I think Bam Adebayo gonna take a leap, and then Tyler Herro got a little chip on his shoulder. I'll never count Andrew Wiggins out. Wig my dog. But I just think Tyler Herro gonna take a leap because people came at him. People gunned at him. You know what I mean." Teague specified that he thinks Herro will take that next step as a defender. "I'm talking about defensively," he said. Even if the Heat aren't perceived as one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, perhaps a surprisingly successful season for the team isn't out of the question. Although Miami didn't trade for a superstar this summer, Powell is a major addition, and he theoretically raises the team's ceiling with his knack for scoring the rock. Powell averaged a career-high 21.8 points per game with the Los Angeles Clippers last season, and his presence will take some scoring pressure off the likes of Herro, Adebayo, and Wiggins. Plus, the Heat are no strangers to overachieving under head coach Erik Spoelstra. Spoelstra, one of the elite coaches in the NBA, always seems to maximize the talent at his disposal. Perhaps the most notable example of the Heat exceeding expectations came when Miami reached the 2023 NBA Finals as the number 8 seed in the East in that year's playoffs. However, if the Heat want to be real threats in the Eastern Conference this coming season, they will likely need Adebayo to step up his game from a scoring standpoint compared to a season ago. The former University of Kentucky standout shot a career-low 48.5% from the field across 78 games played and averaged his fewest points per game since the 2019-20 season. Hopefully, the Heat will shock the world once again in the coming 2025-26 season and end up being one of the more successful teams in the East.